Jai Hind, all the students. In this lecture, we are going to discuss the concept of the job evaluation. Job evaluation is an important concept in the field of human resource management. When we talk about the job evaluation, it is a technique of job analysis or evaluating the net worth of a job. Like there may be various jobs in the organization, but the value of the jobs are different. And according to the valuation of a job, the salaries on that jobs are decided. So, what is the mechanism with the help of which one can evaluate the net worth of a job? The mechanism is named as job evaluation. There are various methods of job evaluation, like there may be non analytical methods and the analytical methods. The non analytical methods includes the ranking system and the job classification, and the analytical methods includes factor comparison method and the point ranking method. Meaning of job evaluation. It is a process of evaluating the net worth of a job. There are a lot of the definitions which are given by the various elites in the field of the management for job evaluation. When we talk about the objectives of the job evaluation, following are the objectives like to gather the data and information relating to job descriptions and job specification for various jobs in an organization, to compare the duties, responsibilities, and demands of a job, to determine the hierarchy and place of various jobs in an organization, to determine the ranks or grades of various jobs, to ensure fair and equitable compensation on the basis of relative worth or value of jobs, and to minimize the discrimination in compensation based on gender, age, caste, region, or religion. So, these are the few objectives that are there just to serve with the use of the job evaluation in the organizations. Like if you will see any organization, you will see the various kinds of the people, those who work for the same organization, but their wages are different, their salaries are different. Why it is so? It is because of the relative worth or the valuation of a job or the value of a job. The gardener is there in the company, and even the senior manager is also there in the company. But the gardener used to get the less salary, and the senior manager used to get the more of the salary. It is just the valuation of a job based on which the companies usually decide the wages and the salary for the different people in the same organization. When we talk about the various principles which are associated with the job evaluation, following are the principles which are related to it. While you are evaluating the jobs in the capacity of a HR manager, you should always evaluate the jobs. You should not evaluate the job holders. The job evaluation must be based on the simple elements that must be easy to understand by all the people. Then the elements must be clearly defined. There must be the managerial participation. Even there should be the employee participation also. There must be an appropriate discussion and the deliberation on the elements which are considered in the job evaluation. And there must be the optimal occupations that must be considered while going for any sort of the job evaluation in the company. When we talk about the various inputs which are considered while evaluating the job or while valuing the job, following are the inputs which are considered. Number one is the know how. It is the knowledge, skill, and experience that decides the value of any job. If the knowledge, skill, and experience required for any job is more, then in that case the jobs are valued the jobs are more valuable, and even the salaries defined for that particular designations even are higher as compared to the other jobs. Then the problem solving is the next input, which is again the determinant of the valuation of a job. Like if the problem solving is more in that particular position, so obviously the valuation of the job would be higher as compared to the other jobs. Then the accountability, like it is the degree of the accountability that again becomes one more input to decide the value of a job. Then the education, the jobs which require highly qualified people or the more education and experience is required, so that sort of the jobs needs more value, and they are valued more as compared to the other jobs. Then the experience, the length of the practical experience also decides about the valuation of a particular job. Then the scope of job, if the job is complex and even the people that are available in the market to perform the jobs are less, so that again become the factor to decide about the valuation of a job. and these jobs are highly valuable and are paid more by the companies. Then the supervision received, the extent of supervision, direction, or guidance imposed on the job holder, and the freedom the executive has to take action. This is also one of the input that decides the job evaluation. And then the authority exercised. It is the level of the authority in terms of routine expenditure, capital expenditure, investments, granting of loans, hiring and firing staff, that again becomes the one more determinant or an input to the job evaluation. So these are the various inputs to the job evaluation. While we talk about the job evaluation, there are a lot of the techniques, and the most popular techniques are like ranking, point, factor comparison, job classification, and computer aided. While we go with the job evaluation methods, the first is the ranking method. In this method, the jobs are arranged in the numerical order on the basis of their importance, like on the basis of the duties and responsibilities. Like the jobs which are higher in terms of duties and responsibilities are ranked on number 1 and 2 positions, and then the jobs which are not so important, they are in the lower ranks. So this is simple method to understand. Then there may be the classification method. There may be the jobs that may be classified based on the higher rates and the low rates. Higher rated grades demand more responsibilities, tougher working conditions, and varied job duties. So the jobs which comes under the higher rated grades are paid more as compared to the lower graded jobs. Then the third is the factor comparison method. In this method, the jobs are ranked according to a series of factors such as mental effort, physical effort, skill needed, responsibility, supervisory responsibility, working conditions, etc. Like here in this example, you can see that they have taken 5 jobs, like the job of an electrician, the fitter, the welder, the cleaner, and the laborer. Now, what happened here? Like they have just given 5 factors. They have taken 5 factors here. Like you can see the physical effort, then the factors like mental effort, skill, responsibility, and working conditions. Now, based on the requirement of any kind of a particular skill, they have assigned certain points, certain numbers to a particular designation, to a particular job. For example, in terms of physical effort, if you will see here, in terms of physical effort, electrician needs the physical efforts up to 11 points, then the fitter needs it to 14, then welder 12, cleaner 9, and the laborer 8. Like here you can see the fitter is more into the like kind of the job in which the manual work is there, and that's why to fitter they have assigned the 14 points. So this is somehow they have just given the various points based on the physical efforts to the various jobs of electrician, fitter, welder, cleaner, and laborer. Then comes mental effort. When it comes to the mental effort, the job of the electrician is more important, and that's why they have assigned 14 points to the electrician. As compared to electrician, like fitter is again one of the important job that again requires a mental efforts. So they have given 10 points to it. Similarly to welder, cleaner, and laborer, they have assigned certain points, certain numerical figures to them. So now if you will come to the skills, electrician according to them needs more of the skills, because it is all the mind game, it is all the intellectual activity that used to be done by the electricians. So that's why for skills the electrician got 15, the fitter 9. And like if you will see to the other, like if you will see to the fitter they have given like 9, to the welder they have given 8, cleaner they have given 4. So this is somehow they have divided the various points according to the skills for the various jobs. And again then the responsibility of the electrician is the more like the higher one. Like the electricians used to play the higher responsibility jobs, and that is the reason they have given more points to the electricians. Then working conditions, again to the fitter they have given 9, because it is the highest score that they have given to fitter, because fitter used to do a job which is risky and even tough. So that's why they need good working conditions, and that's why they have assigned the highest scores to the job of a fitter. So here you can see like they have assigned to the various jobs the different scores, and according to these scores, if you will rank them here in the terms of physical effort, if you will see like they have given to fitter 14. So fitter comes into the first rank. Then like they have given 12 to welder. so it comes into the second rank. So similarly, like electrician is on third place, cleaner is on fourth, and laborer is on 5. Even for mental effort, again they have given the ranking to all the jobs for skill, for responsibility, and for working conditions. If you will add all these scores, so you will find here the daily wage rate of them. Here you can see the electrician has got 60 score, fitter has got 50, welder 40, cleaner 30, and the laborer 25. Here electrician has got 60, so 60 is the highest score, and that also shows that the job of the electrician is more important as compared to the other jobs of fitter, welder, cleaner, and laborer. So this is the factor comparison method in which the various factors are compared with the various kinds of the jobs, and the points are assigned, the scores are assigned, and accordingly the wages are decided. So this is the most popular method, and even it is easily understood by all the employees, but there are certain disadvantages, like it is costly and time consuming, and even it also depends on the rating, like skills, or even the quality of the personals, those who are associated for managing these kind of the systems. So there are certain disadvantages also. Now the next is the point method. The point method is the same like the method as we just gave the scores in the factor comparison method. So similar to that, there is one more method, but there is a difference in among them, like in the point methods, points are assigned to the various jobs, and the jobs which used to get the higher points, they are considered more valuable to the organization. For this point method, the key jobs are selected, and then the various factors are identified, such as skill, effort, and responsibility, and to all that factors the points are assigned. Here in this figure you can see, like there are various factors like skill, physical effort, mental effort, responsibility, working conditions. The moment the degree of the factor will increase, even the points to that degree would also increase. Here you can see, while the skill on degree 1, like the intensity or the value of the job or even the grade of the job was 1, so on that the skill was 10. Then when the degree of the job become 2, again the skill again becomes 20. Then again when there was an increase in the degree or the working like responsibilities of the job, when it came to 3, then the like points again increased to 30. Here you can see 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Again in physical efforts, 8, 16, 24, 32, 40. Mental effort 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Responsibility 7, 14, 21, 28, 20, 35. So it all depends on the degrees. While the degree varies, the point would also increase. If you will total, like if somebody as a bank manager is working on level 5, so the level 5, if somebody is working on level 5, here you can see that he has totally he has scored 540 points, because he has done the work of level 1 employee, level 2, level 3, level 4, and level 5 also. So he got the total points 540. So for all these points, there is already a chart which is available inside the organization that decides about the daily wage rate of the people. Like here you can see, for point 500 to 600, the daily wage is 300 rupees to 400 rupees. So the officer who is getting 540 as a points, his daily wage rate would be among from 300 to 400. And similarly, for the other jobs, even the points are assigned. It all depends on the points, like how much points you are getting for your designation, for your position. And for that particular position, if you are getting the maximum points or the more number of points, so there may be the possibility that you will get the higher of the salary. So this is the point ranking method. Again, it is simple to understand, easily accepted by the workers, and even there is less chance of manipulation into these kind of the systems. But there are certain disadvantages also, like the installation and creation of these systems are expensive. Even it consumes a lot of time also, and even the problems, like a lot of the clerical work is involved into it. So sometimes it creates the problems inside the organization. Now the process of the job evaluation. First, the jobs for the identification, jobs for evaluation are identified. Then for all the jobs, the relevant data is collected. For collection of the data, there may be the use of the various methods like questionnaire, observations, and interviews. Once the data is collected, then the jobs are ranked according to their importance, according to their value. And then the selection of the benchmark jobs, like it is not possible for any organization just to go for the evaluation of each small and big designation. So they usually compare the few designations which are used by the competitors also, just to check it out whether they are paying and whether the pay system is compatible with the competitors pay policy or not. Then at its step 5, it is the wage and salary surveys, and they used to just have the wage and salary surveys. Either they can conduct it by their own, or either they can go for the surveys with the help of certain agencies, magazines, or the professional agencies. They can take help. And at last, the review and the feedback. There may be the frequent changes in the external environment that may affect the wage system. Like for example, if there is a technological change, so again it often demands the more creative and the innovative people. So that's why there is a continuous need to review and to get the response from the market about the job evaluation systems. So it is not like that once you have designed the job evaluation, it is perfect and okay for long number of years. There is a need of continuous updation on them. So these all are the various steps which are related with the job evaluation system. Now the practical implication for technical, non-technical and executive managerial positions. The main thing is that like job evaluation is a good technique and a great technique and available for most of the jobs. But there are a lot of the jobs for which there is no job evaluation technique available. So for that kind of the jobs, there are certain ways with which we can evaluate them, we can value them. The positions the position of a CEO, the executive positions, there is no specific method which is designed and defined under any kind of the systems. So that's why it is very much important to have the practical implication for the jobs which are of executive and managerial nature. There are several systems which are developed, and one of the better known is the Hay profile method. This is the system that was developed by Edward and Hay, and the Hay group method again use a point system method. It is an extension to the point system method, and even they used to give the points according to the nature or the profile of a job. Like for example, they used to assign the points like if the problem solving is weighted more heavily than accountability for research jobs, but the reverse is true for production line jobs. So they used to assign the points according to the nature of the industry. And whenever we talk about the Hay group method, it analyzes the jobs based on 3 or 4 main factors. The first may be the know-how. Again, the know-how has further divided into technical know-how, managerial know-how, human relation know-how. Then it may be the problem solving. It may be the degree of accountability that is attached to the job. Like the degree of accountability may further be depicted on 3 dimensions: freedom to act, how what kind of a freedom an employee has got to just take the decisions inside the company. If he has got a lot of freedom, again he would be more responsible and accountable to that particular decision. Then the magnitude, it is the degree of influence a position has on the organizational operations. And the impact, it is the degree to which the job affects the organizational operations. So this is somehow they are trying to just define the accountability. And then the working conditions also, like the working environment, mental stress, physical risk, and sensory attention, physical effort required. All these are the various aspects which are really considered while evaluating the managerial and the executive positions. Like working conditions is typically used for non-exempt jobs and excluded for managerial positions. So these are the 4 factors which, according to Edward and Hay, one should consider while evaluating the technical, managerial, and executive positions inside the company. And it is the most popular one which is used by most of the organizations. At last, it is the computerized job evaluation. Now, like when we talk about the job evaluation systems, like it is a complex exercise and it is not possible just to enter it manually into the systems. There may be the errors. So just to rectify all that kind of the problems, now most of the organizations are using the computerized job evaluation systems. The algorithms are made with the use of the data, and like it is really working, and most of the multinational companies are using the computerized job evaluation systems. When we talk about the computerized job evaluation systems, there are two main types of the computerized job evaluation systems. One is called as job analysis, the second is the interactive schemes. Now, what is job analysis? Information related to the job analysis is either transferred from a questionnaire into the computer system, and then that system consists of software, uses the algorithm based, program rule based, which determine the evaluation standards of the organization. This software generates a total score by converting each data into an individual score. The algorithm replicates panel judgments both on job factor levels as well as on overall job score. Then the second method is the interactive. Both the employee and the manager sit before a computer system, face a series of logically interconnected questions, and that becomes a question tree. When one answers these questions, a score for each of built-in factors is generated, and thus calculating the total score. The good thing about the computerized job evaluation system is that there is more consistency into these kind of the systems, and even it provides the extensive database abilities. Even the thousand of the employees you have, even I would say, like if you have even 20,000 employees, 20 like 2 lakh employees, even for that it is possible now that you can have a good and uniform job evaluation system with the use of the algorithms and the computers. And like one more advantage is there, like it has accelerated the job evaluation process. Now there is more standardization into the job evaluation systems. So these all are the advantages, but there are certain disadvantages also. There is lack of transparency. When we are using the computers, they are using the scheme of black box. Even nobody is aware that how the computer has generated the algorithm and how the score has come. So sometimes it creates the problems, and even bypassed evaluation process. Like when we take the help of the computers or the computerized job evaluation system, it usually bypass the joint employee management panels. So this is also one of the problem. Like even whatever the panel has decided, whatever they feed into the computer, how the scores were generated, so what was the logic behind that, all kind of explanations are missing. So these all are the disadvantages of the computerized job evaluation system. At last, there are certain advantages of the job evaluation and the disadvantages. When we talk about the advantages, it helps in wage and salary fixation. It reduces the problems among the employee and the employers. It helps in the good recruitment and the selection system. It enhances the labor and management relations. It guarantees the equitable reward distribution. It helps in analyzing the company. It helps in wage and salary negotiations. And it also helps in evaluating the hierarchy of the jobs. So all these are the advantages, but there are certain disadvantages also. It is a non-scientific technique. There is no scientific basis behind the methods, whatever they are using in the job evaluation system. Sometimes there is an adjustment problem. Most of the people are not satisfied with the kind of the methods which are usually employed to value the jobs or for valuation of the jobs. It is unrealistic also. Like in point method, they have assigned various points. So how come, what is the logic behind providing so many points to that particular factor? So there is like lack of the explanation and the proper logics somewhere that makes it unrealistic. Even there are certain organization limitations also. To install a job evaluation system again is very time consuming and expensive. So that also becomes one of the limitation of the job evaluation systems. Sometimes the workers opposed it. They really are they take it as a suspicious tool. They even choose to take it as a tool like with which they are not getting the best of their salaries. So it is opposed by the workers. Subjective. There are a lot of the factors which are used in the evaluation of the jobs, but there are certain factors which are ignored. So that again becomes the limitation of the job evaluation system. Then the limitations of the evaluator, to whomsoever you have assigned the task of evaluation. Maybe that they don't have much of the skills to value the jobs or to calculate the scores properly. So sometimes because of the lack of knowledge of the evaluators, the job evaluation systems do not work as required. So this is also one of the limitation. And at last, the nature of the job. It is generally presumed that the jobs which hold equal value are equally pleasing to all the workers, but it is not the actual fact. If a job offers good future prospects, it will succeed in attracting more people. So all these are the various disadvantages of the job evaluation system. But at last, I would like to just end up with this lecture, like with the say, like the job evaluation is a great technique. It is a technique with which you can find the relative worth of a job. And I believe the concept of the job evaluation is clear to all the students now. And thank you. Jai Hind.